the very first thing I would like for you to do is go get your TI-84 calculator, and I want you to work these problems with me. So do not just watch, do it with me, and pause the video every time you need to stop me from talking so that you can do your work. Okay, so if you need to pause it to go get the calculator, then do that. So I'm going to give you the calculator hacks that will be helpful. And one of the first things I want to talk about is solving an equation like you would a system. You know, once you have a system where both equations are in y equals and you go type those into your graph and you've got two lines, then it is just a matter of seeing where the intersection is. So I'm going to show you that with an equation. So let me pull up this 84 calculator, and I'm going to slide over to this problem. So this was on the 2019 test. So this is an equation. They expect you to distribute that negative, that's like a -1. Distribute, and then solve. Start solving it. And this is a bubble problem. So they're wanting you to be able to write the answer in. Well, here's what you can do. First of all, if I'm going to graph this, I don't want m's. I'm going to replace m's with x's. Okay? So anytime you know you're about to graph something, if the variables are not x's, change them to x's. So here is what you do when you're solving an equation. The left side of the equation goes in the y1. The right side of the equation goes in the y2 of your graph. So I'm going to type negative. So make sure you know where the negative is. If the symbol is a negative, it's in front usually like that. This would be a minus sign. And those are two different buttons on the calculator. Negative parenthesis 6x plus 8, close it. So we typed it exactly as it is here, except for the m became an x. So down arrow, 4 parentheses 17 minus x, close it. All right, when you hit graph, well, hang on. Let me go. This is what you're going to see. You're not going to see both of them. I had done this problem previous, so that's why. As I was saying, I had already done this problem previous, so it was still in my calculator. But yours is not going to be the way mine just was, and it's going to look like this. And it looks like there's only one line graphed, even though you typed in two different lines. And that is because our window is not to where we can see everything. The first thing to try, you want to see where they're crossing. So the first thing to try, that's the easiest thing to do to see if you can see the whole thing, is to do zoom 0. All right, we still cannot see where they're crossing. They're crossing out here somewhere. I can see that it's getting closer. Here, the two lines are getting further. So that means the intersection is over here. Here is 0, 0. So this is called your x minimum. It's getting smaller. And this is called your y minimum. So I need to change my x minimum and my y minimum so I can see where they're crossing. So that is done in this window key. So window x minimum. I'm going to go -50. Do something big. And then y max, I'm going to do something big too. I'm going to go 250. If this doesn't work, I'll come back and change it. So notice how my minimum was a negative. Okay. All right, hit graph. Good. I can see where it is. But if I had not been able to see it, I would have gone back in and changed my numbers. Next, I want to know where they are intersecting. So the way to do that is to do second, trace. See the word intersection? So we can either arrow down or just hit the number 5. And then you hit enter 3 times. Enter, enter, enter. You want to see the word intersection. So my answer is -38, and I would have to bubble that. So I would bubble a negative symbol, a 3, and an 8. Okay, make sure that if you're having a problem where you're having to bubble in that little griddable, if the answer is negative, you've got to bubble the negative. If the answer is positive, you don't have to worry about it. All right, so I also want to show you some other things. So let me grab the calculator again. If I want to get out of something, I need to go somewhere else, I'm struggling, I don't have to just turn it off. Some people want to turn off their calculator. You could just do second quit. That takes you back to the calculating screen. And let's say I'm tired of all of this stuff. I don't want to see this anymore. Clear clears the whole screen. Even in my y equals, if I want to clear out a whole line of work, clear clears out the whole line of work. If I just want to delete one number, I can delete a number. Okay, so that just deletes one thing at a time. Above it, you see the word INS. That stands for insert. Let's say I meant to put a negative 17 here. So I'm going to go on top of the 1, and I'm going to go second insert. And I should be able to scoot that 1 down. Yeah. So second insert, put your symbol in or whatever you need to put in, and it should scoot everything else down. All right, so I'm going to clear that out. And let's talk about minus versus negative. Here is your negative, here is your minus. Why is this important? So I'm going to go second quit. Let's say we had two ordered pairs and we were finding the slope. And we have -5 minus -4 over 6 minus -7. So I've got all these minuses and negatives. Well, that's a negative and this is a minus. That is a negative minus negative, okay? This right here is division. My calculator wants me to also, if I have a fraction with a lot of stuff in it, it wants me to put parentheses around all of the top and all of the bottom, okay? So I want to know what the slope is. I'm going to go parenthesis, not minus, -5 minus parenthesis, -4. That closed that parenthesis, so I got to close this one. Okay, then divided by is this line, left parenthesis, 6 minus -7, and then close the bottom parenthesis. Okay, so I get this crazy decimal. Let's say I really need to know what that fraction is. Okay, I want to see what the fraction for this decimal is. That's in the math key. Okay, let me write that. Math will give you a fraction. It's the very first option. So if I go math, see the first option, and just hit enter. I'm already there, and then enter again. So -1 over 13 would be the slope number I need for this. Real quick, let's say I want to raise a number to something other than a square. First, if I just want to go 5 squared, that's easy. But let's say I need to do 5 raised to the third. That would be 5 raised, so that raises it to the third. So that's how you do a different exponent. Let's say I need to go grab this 25. All I have to do is up arrow and hit enter, and I can pull things down. Okay? And let's say now I want to backtrack and insert a square root. So I'm going to go second square root. Okay, well, look, all of that got pushed out. So I'm going to delete, and move into here to put my 25. Okay, look at how I'm still underneath this square root. If I want to get out of that square root, because maybe I need to type something else, you need to hit this right arrow. See, now I'm out of it. And then if I needed to go times 5 plus 3 or something, I could. Okay? All right, so I think this is all the stuff that will help you. If you have any other questions, please let me know.